Happy New Year, Salem High. I'm Ethan, and today is Friday, January 8th, 2021. About time it showed up. We all hope you had an amazing and safe break. This week's quote of the week is language, even more than color, defines who you are to people. This week, we'll be interviewing someone within the Salem workforce in our first news segment of 2021. But first, seniors missed out on an opportunity to apply to North Shore Community College in December. Well, don't worry, because another admissions event for NSCC is scheduled to take place on Wednesday, January 20th from noon to 2 p.m. Please email your guidance counselors if you have any questions. Additionally, Governor Baker recently extended the flu vaccination deadline to February 28th. So you now have more time to get it if you're going to be learning in person at the beginning of the next semester. Once again, the proof of vaccination is to be sent to the school nurses. Finally, progress reports were posted to Aspen yesterday. Contact guidance if you would like a physical copy. It's no secret that Salem has an incredibly diverse community, and it's certainly proven within Salem Public Schools. But for our main segment today, we are going beyond that, going into Salem's workforce. Because as we all know, we are all going to be moving on and out of here someday. Some are going to college, some are going into military service, or some just going straight to the field. And we've created a new segment to cover just that. We don't have a title for this yet, but our first guest in this new segment is Dr. Jeremy Schiller. He is a Salem resident, an MD at Mount Auburn Hospital specializing in interventional radiology, a professor at Harvard Medical School, and the chair of the Salem Board of Health. Let's head over to him right now. How's it going, Salem High? Right now in the first installment of our yet-to-be-named segment, we have Dr. Schiller here with us. Glad to have you here.
Happy to be here.
And so, being the chairman of the Board of Health, what do you guys do over there?
Well, the Board of Health, so it's interesting, actually. The Board of Health in Massachusetts is kind of in a unique position. Every town and city has a Board of Health, which runs the Department of Health. So what we do is we oversee all the inspectional services of, restaurants or gyms, but also set policy for public health within the city. So it's been a really interesting time, particularly this year, but I've been on the Board of Health probably maybe 5 years, and I've been chairman for a little over a year now. Of the board, there's 5 members. I'm the only MD on the board, the only doctor on the board. And it's a great group of people. It's a totally volunteer cohort of peeps.
How has it changed since COVID came along?
Well, let's put it this way. A year ago, our agenda items at the Board of Health were dealing with e-cigarettes for high school students and making Salem 21 to buy a cigarette in Salem. That was like the major kind of issues we were dealing with. To now, we're dealing with a once in a lifetime, once in 100 years pandemic. So you can imagine, as a volunteer, to struggle with those issues of public health has been much more intense. And it's really, it's kind of been a dual-edged sword. In one way, it's incredibly frustrating and challenging and stressful, but it's also really gratifying. It makes feeling like my time as a volunteer, it's not my day job, is a really good way to contribute to where I live. And it's important to me. It's I don't want to live in a place where I give nothing back, where I just, come home and live this kind of suburban life. But instead, during the pandemic, it's really allowed me to kind of invest any knowledge I may have to, make our lives better in a public health sense. Because what we're dealing with is literally, like I said, it's like a once in 100 year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's challenging.
We've seen this many times in history.
Right. And it's been a long time. So it really puts a lot of pressure on the Board of Health and individuals, how you navigate making decisions that are best for a community, but not necessarily best for the individual. So some people may not like some of the decisions the Board of Health feels like we have to make, but we feel like we have to make those decisions to keep people safe, to make sure our hospitals have, capacity to deal with people when they get sick. Those are like real issues. You know what I mean? It's not that e-cigarettes weren't a real issue, because they are, but this is really up front and center, life and death kind of decisions we've been making almost on a daily basis, weekly basis.
What exactly does that mean, for those who are curious? Being an MD?
An MD is a doctor of medicine. So I am a physician. My specialty, which is kind of a very kind of hyper-specialized specialty called interventional radiologist. And it's actually kind of a newish field, although we've been around for a while, but it's new in the sense of we are cutting edge in the sense what we use that imaging, whether it's ultrasound or CAT scan or real-time X-ray or MRI, to guide ourselves to do different procedures within the body. So have you heard of a cardiac stent or an angioplasty? And what that means is within the artery or within a vessel, I make a left and a right and I go where I need to go. And I can do things with an incision in the body that's less than an inch. So I can reach different areas in the body without making a big, incision or a big kind of impact on the patient. So the other way to think about it is image-guided, minimally invasive surgical procedures is what I do. So it's a lot to think about, but it actually makes sense. By using this technology, you can do these things from, treating a tumor from the inside, which is my specialty, kidney tumors, cancers of the kidney, to various other things, almost anywhere in the body.
Okay, so now as a medical doctor yourself, what advice would you give to students for those who are considering medicine as a career option?
I would say if you're at all interested in medicine, I think it's an excellent field. I love what I do, and I've loved it from the moment I made the decision to do it. Not just to get the degree of being a doctor, but the actual process of learning about medicine, learning about disease, learning about anatomy, learning about people. So I would, for someone who may be interested, I would strongly encourage them. It's a long road, and it's really becomes who you are as a person.
And what do you like to do during your time off?
So, well, I have 3 kids, so I'm very involved with my family, which I love. But I'm a fishing addict. I love being on the water. I love being on the ocean. I have a boat, a small little boat. So fishing is kind of a passion of mine, and just kind of that interface of just being out there by myself and really that solitude. I love that. I think no matter what you do in your life, and I've had this conversation, you should be excited about it. Life is too short to not be excited about the thing you're doing. So whatever job you have, those 2 things are, I think, a critical component that you never stop learning, never stop growing, and that hopefully whatever you're doing in this world that is becoming shrinkingly smaller and smaller, you're doing some good in the world. You're providing something positive.
All right. Thank you once again for joining us, and now let's head back to the studio. That's all we have for you today, Salem High. This has been the Salem High News, brought to you by the students of digital media. Take care, stay safe, get educated, stay classy, and we will see you next Friday. I'm currently open to suggestions for my next interviewee in this new segment.